I'm George. I'm a co-founder at Worlk, and together with my partner Christian, we started this journey in April 2022. I'm going to give you a bit of a background. The world of business has changed. The pandemic hit us all, but it brought with it a positive impact on employers as much as on employees. The employer adopted remote work and home office, even the traditional CEO, and the employee embraced the concept of remote work with all its benefits. I'm sorry, give me a sec, because I can't see my slides. Now I see them. The employer understood that the productivity score went up, and the employee preferred flexible remote work option to, other options. But the problem remains. The employers are losing top talent to companies that offer flexible and diverse remote work experiences. Data shows that 32% of employees worldwide are remotely working, and 55% of employees will quit if they're not allowed to continue remote work. So we found an opportunity. Office space is not always being used. Also, data shows that 46% of companies are currently utilizing only half of their available office space, or even less. So we found a value. We want to leverage unused office space to host. What is unused by one company can be used by another. Also, in a survey we conducted, 70% of companies stated that they are willing to host employees from other companies. And this is why we created Worlk. It is the first B2B platform for desk surfing. Employees can travel the world and use unused office space from other companies. I'd like to show you a video to explain more the idea.
Dear employers, companies, leaders, managers, directors, remote working is here to stay. And today's employees expect the flexibility to work and travel the world. We want to help you offer them the chance to work from anywhere. We call it Worlk, and this is our vision. This is Clara. She lives and works in Amsterdam. Clara has always wanted to spend time in South America. This is Pedro. He lives and works in Rio de Janeiro. Pedro wants to work remotely from Amsterdam. With Worlk, Clara's company will share a free desk with Pedro, and Pedro's company will share a free desk with Clara. And Pedro and Clara can arrange accommodation that is shared freely by the working community. This makes working as practical and affordable as possible. Why? Because Clara's and Pedro's of the world deserve to explore new places, collaborate to expand their knowledge, make new friends and business connections, and above all, pursue happiness. Opening the world to your employees has never been easier. Sign up your company today at worlk.com. Stop working. Start worlking.
So what's in it for employees? Employees will work remotely in reliable office infrastructure. They will never be alone and will have access to the local community. They will enjoy longer workations because they are hosted for free. And what's in it for companies? They will activate unused desks and monetize their unused office space. They're going to increase retention and boost employer branding. And they're going to open opportunities for business synergies with those other companies that will host their employees. And Worlk will build a global business community that offers flexible, affordable, and interactive remote working experiences for companies and their employees. So where do we stand today? We released our beta in November 2022 during a web summit. We have companies from 8 different countries already joining. Today, it's free for all. It's going to be in the future subscription-based for companies only. Employees will always pay nothing. And we are looking for investment, seed and pre-seed, to scale, to also grow our product. Today, it is only we have the beta, which is only for desk surfing, but we want to also allow couch surfing with it at the same time for employees. And we believe that employees can also be digital nomads, and we want to open the world for them. If you really like the idea, please support it by signing up at worlk.com to try to test the beta. And we have an exchange program, which is called Diversity, where we want to, in spring, summer 2023, connect companies from 2 different cities together. I'm George. You can connect with me at george@worlk.com and diversity@worlk.com. Thank you.
All right, happy days. Again, it's tough to know who to go to as the first panelist because we've got so many people that work remotely, right? So why don't we try Jana and then Tiana, because you exemplify this kind of model really well. What do you think about this? What's your questions?
George, absolutely loved it. Thank you so much for giving this great presentation. Also really like the deck. But of course, from my understanding, I would like to really get a little bit better, let's say, insight from yourself. How do you make the money at this point? What is your business model going forward?
So as I said, it is going to be subscription based for companies. Companies will pay a yearly subscription to be on the platform, and that's how we make money. On the other side, we also have third parties that we try to work with. For example, today you could get from Genki, which is a German remote work insurance. We partnered with them to give insurance for employees when they want to travel and work from somewhere. So that's also third-party income stream for us besides the subscription.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jana. Tiana, are you still there? What do you think about this?
Yes, I'm here. I mean, I love the ideas in this domain because I've been fully remote since 2010. So I've been through the whole transition of remote work. One thing that I also like is that unlike most of the marketplaces where we really need to work hard on making sure we populate both sides of the marketplace equal in the same time, more or less. Here, basically, all the users are on one side and on the other in the same time, right? So the moment two companies join, they can already start exchanging these values. So this is going to be way easier for you guys when you start going initially. What I'm not so sure about is why this and not a regular co-working space, a concept that is not even so new anymore. We are all used to that, and there are also companies who include a co-working space in their perks and benefits and take co-working spaces to their employees, co-working space of their choice or from a list. So why not like this? And also this concept of accommodation, couch surfing, how is this regulated or controlled by companies? Employees would be leaving their private properties, apartments for this, so the company can't really guarantee for the quality and safety of this type of accommodation. So is it maybe mixing too much in one product? Maybe it would make sense to focus on the office space, because it sounds like maybe it's kind of overwhelming too much adding this to a mix, because it's not related to companies. Then you're kind of getting out of this concept, being focused on the companies exchanging what they have in surplus, like office space in this case. So two questions.
Okay, so just to recap, the first one was about co-working spaces.
Yeah.
Where are we in comparison to them?
Yeah.
So basically, the co-working spaces have two things. They're going to be definitely much more expensive for the employee if they want to go and travel, because our core focus is that employees become more digital nomads. And so if I go somewhere today, let's say to Lisbon, the co-working space would be much more expensive to me than a solution like this. On the other side, we're much more flexible. With co-working spaces, you have lots of bigger contracts. You have to have a specific time and the longer times. We're trying to be much more flexible in the sense that, you know, next week you are in, let's say, Sweden. You need 5 days to be in a reliable office. There are hundreds of offices that are unused. How can you access one of them? And I think this accessibility is something which we come to the front with. And also the community factor. Basically, if 30 to 40% of the office space is not used, there's 60% which is filled with local community. I think this is a big value. When I go sit in an office and I can talk to people that are in the city, they know a lot, and we can share lots of synergies. The second question concerning couchsurfing, you're totally right. Our focus is the desk surfing. We thought, and it's part of our research in this year also to understand from the employees, because we want to reduce the cost down to only transportation, it could be an added value for them if they are able to swap flats with, you know, employees from the other company that are visiting their own city. Nevertheless, that's not our core business. Our core business is definitely the desk surfing.
Okay, thank you very much. I would still pay attention to co-working spaces of competitors because so far I only see this pricing as something that you can really compete with, because there are many co-working spaces where you have daily rates, etc. The community is also interesting because not everybody is in corporate. You have freelancers, startup founders, etc. So there is a lot that they can offer as well. So I would pay attention to having something else apart from pricing, which is a category that is changing all the time, that you can mention as your key value proposition. Thanks. Thanks once again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tiana. And before we turn to Pedro, this sort of co-working question links to Sarah's question in the chat. So she's saying, would you allow consultants who have a steady workspace in a co-work to sign up? So obviously her company, she has a desk within a co-working space, it's a fixed desk or a cabin. Can she now do this Worlk thing and share that? How does that work for you?
100%. Because for us, we have three categories. We were working actually on our model. Of course, today it's free for everyone, but we see three main target audiences. We have the desk providers, there's the desk seekers, and there are the desk surfers. The desk surfers are going to be the ones I've talked about. The companies, they have employees, but they have free space and they can share it with each other. But there's also co-working spaces that could be also on Worlk, because they have desks that are not used and they could provide them and put them in the front for the community. And they can also subscribe on Worlk. And there are the desk seekers, which are digital nomads purely by heart. So these are like freelancers. They don't have a desk to share, but they want a desk when they travel. And all of three could fall under Worlk, and it could be something interesting because everyone could benefit.
Thanks for that. All right, Pedro, do your special. Finish us here with the last question on this one.
It's kind of related to yours and Sarah's, which, by the way, is something like this. You said you want to help companies monetize free space, and this is free for the employee. And you already explained. I was about to ask you about freelancers, contractors, and the likes. And on the other hand, for now, companies are not paying. But who is generating? If you want to monetize something, someone needs to be paying. I can't understand exactly who is paying to that company that is making money from a free desk. By the way, I love your idea. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So I'll give you an example. You have an office in Lisbon. I have an office in Vienna. We both subscribe on Worlk. So we pay a subscription for Worlk. That's how Worlk makes the money. Now, how do we benefit? We benefit from two main perspectives. One, our employees we're retaining our employees because we're not losing them. They are using a service. This is kind of an incentive service that we bring to their table to use it. And when they want to go to Lisbon, my employees, they can sit in your office. Now, in the future, what we're thinking about is a credit concept. So when you subscribe, you get a certain number of credits that you can use to basically let your employees book and reserve. When your employees book a desk in my office, I receive credits from you and vice versa. And you can actually redeem these credits for either services that you find on our platform or to keep on using the desk surfing concept. So you don't have to and if you want to monetize it, so if you want to generate money more, then you can redeem these credits in terms of money, and Worlk will pay you that.
Thank you.
Okay, so this has been good. I'm really liking this new format with more questions. I hope it's working for everybody. Maybe I'm just a geek, right? But it just feels like we're getting more into the startups than we usually get to in demo.
If I have a minute, I can show you also the beta version of what we have today.
Come on, yeah, you can do that, and then we'll go to Paolo, right, to bring us home.
All right, let me share my screen. Yeah, so what you see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect. So that's the beta version of Worlk today, where I am now an HR lead, because we have two options: the dashboard and everything, which is much more for monitoring and making sure that your employees are enlisted and what they're doing, where they are going, and this is where you find it on the dashboard. And the marketplace is basically here in the Explorer, so you can see which companies are already on the platform. I can define, I want to go, let's say, from 27 to 25 to 27 to a certain country. I click on the company, see the details, see the free desks they have. I can start a request. You can choose a desk and submit the request. Something happened. Okay, there's some problem processing, probably the date, doesn't matter. So that's the exploration part. There's a profile for the company where you put the general information about the company, and you can also upload how many desks you want to offer to the community. And you can also see the subscribed employees, outgoing Worlks and incoming Worlks. This is under testing. We are testing it with other companies too. And with the exchange program that we're aiming for, this is going to be our, playground to understand more and more. Nevertheless, we're seeking for an investment to grow this and make it even more and more sturdy.
We can write that, I bet, right? Because you are endorsing those companies to a certain extent.
I'm sorry, again?
You are endorsing those companies to a certain extent, so we should be able to rate them or comment or something. Because I am going to a place I don't know, and it can be a
100%.
terrible location or something like that.
I know what you mean. True. And also, you can chat with everyone on the platform. So with our chatting system, you can talk to anyone on the platform. If there's a company you're interested in, before going, you can talk to the employees or the HR leads to understand more.